Welcome back, my fantastic folks. This is Hershey, your SST mentor. Today I am starting up with the chapter number 2, Northern Mountains and the Northern Plains of your course book, Time Travelers Knowledge Series by Amit Publishing House. So get ready for this activity, kids. Can you find out the difference between these two physical features shown in the given picture? Write any three differences. We have a glance of these pictures. This is the picture of mountains. This is the mountainous area. And second picture, can you guess it? Yes, you have guessed it well. It is the picture of plains. So can you spot the differences between these two pictures or these two different physical features? Right? This is the mountains because it is covered with snow throughout the year. So temperature is very low. And here the temperature is high, right? It is covered with snow and the plains are flat land, mountains are high land and covered with snow. Plains are flat land and it is greenery. Like greenery is present means cultivation is possible here, and on the mountains cultivation is not possible, right? So hope it is clear to you, right? So let's start with chapter. Mountains are areas of land that have risen high above the surroundings. It is high above the surroundings. This land is highland. We know now highlands and lowlands. So mountains are the highlands above the surroundings, right? Rising above the surroundings area. The temperature falls with increased height when we move upwards direction, when we are going on height. So temperature falls there. Therefore, mountain regions have cool climate. In case of very high mountain peaks, it is covered with snow throughout the year. On the other hand, plains are large stretches of flat land. This is the example of flat land, right? Such areas of land are usually very fertile and have a climate which is suitable for agriculture or cultivation of crops. They are suitable for large scale farming. They are suitable. It is easy to construct buildings on plains, factories, industries, house, right? It is easy to construct on plains. It is very difficult to construct on mountains, or you can say it is just impossible. Mountains industries develop along bank of the rivers because of easy availability of water. Water is easily available. So most of the factories and industries are being setting up near the rivers. People prefer to settle down in the plains because of many reasons, like easy to construct, temperature is suitable for us, crops can be grown, water, food availability is quite well in the plains, right? So as a result of these plains are generally well populated and grow into the cities, right? So let's start. The northern mountains, we have already learned the northern mountains. The northern boundary of our country is covered with mountains. The northern border of our country, or you can say the northern border is covered with mountains. They are known as northern mountains, right kids? They include the Himalayas, Karakoram, some hill ranges in northern east, northeast. Himalayas and Karakoram ranges are in the northeast part, right? So, let's start about the Himalayan mountains first. The Himalayan is a majestic mountain range. It is the highest and one of the longest mountain ranges in the world, right? It is the highest mountain ranges in the world. It extends up to 2,400 kilometers from east to west. We have learned in the last chapter 2,400 kilometers from east to west and from north to south, east to west, and its widths vary from 400 kilometers in Kashmir to 150 kilometers in northeast. Means these mountains are wider in Jammu and Kashmir in the northernmost point, and it is not as wider as in the Jammu Kashmir. The width of the mountains in the Jammu Kashmir area is around 400 kilometers. When you will come down this eastern part, it is only 150 kilometers, the width of the mountain. So this area is more wider, right? So it stretches in a curve from Jammu Kashmir, and here it starts from J&K, right? And the last point is Arunachal Pradesh, right? Arunachal Pradesh in the east. Thus, separating India and China through the natural boundary. It forms the natural border or boundary, and it separates the India from China, right? The Himalayas are divided into 3 parallel ranges. These are discussed below. The Himalayas are the third largest deposit of ice and snow in the world. We have learned that Himalaya is the highest mountain range, right? It is the third largest deposit of ice in the world, right? So let's discuss about the 3 parallel ranges of Himalaya. Parallel ranges means like this, right? 1, 2 and 3, right? It starts from northern point, which is J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, right? To the Arunachal Pradesh. Right kids? Now parallel ranges means this is the mountain range. You can say range means many mountains are in a range, means in sequence, right? So 3, we are talking about the 3 parallel mountain ranges. So this is again the second parallel range, and this is the third range of Himalayas. So first is Greater Himalayas, right? First one is the Greater Himalayas. Second is Greater Himalayas, right? So, Greater Himalayas is also called Himadri. This is the another name. It is also called Himadri and has an average height of 6,000 meters. Height means this is the highest point, this is the height. So average height of this Greater Himalayas or the Himadri is near about 6,000 meters and is the highest range in Himalayas, right? It is the northernmost and the highest range of Himalayas. The peaks are permanently covered with snow. The Mount Everest, right? This is the highest peak in the world, and the height of Mount Everest is 8,848 meters, the highest peak in world, and it lies in our neighboring country Nepal. Right, next is Kanchenjunga, 8,611 meters. Nanda Devi and Nanga Parbat are the highest peak of the Greater Himalayas in India. Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. It is in Nepal. Whether the Kanchenjunga is the second highest peak, Nanda Devi and Nanga Parbat are the highest peak and it lies in India. The Karakoram mountain ranges lie in the northwest of Himalayas. Mount Godwin Austen or called AK2, the world's second highest peak, lies in this range. The Karakoram range mountain, this is the mountain range, Karakoram range, and in the northwest of the Himalaya, Mount Godwin Austen, or we call it K2, is also lies in the Karakoram range. Now, the next parallel range, or you will say the middle or lesser Himalayas. The middle or lesser Himalayas called Himachal. We call it Himadri to the Greater Himalayas. Now we call it Himachal to the Lesser Himalayas. It lies to the south of Himadri. We are talking about the south of the Himadri range and has an average height of 4,500 meters. 4,500 meters, right? And the Great Himalayas are approximately 6,000 meters, right? This range lies between Himadri and Shivalik range. We have learned now these three parallel ranges. So first one is the Himadri. We are talking about the second range. It is the middle range or lesser Himalayas. We call it Himachal. It is approximately 4,600 or 500 meters. The range lies between the Himadri and the Shivalik range. This is the third range. It is called Shivalik range. So it is in the middle part, right? The mountains here are not as high as the mountains that are in the Greater Himalayas, right? So temperature is again not as low as on the Greater Himalayas. Rohtang Pass is a high mountain pass in this range and it connects the Kullu Valley with the Lahore and Rohtang. So this is the full picture of Rohtang Pass, right? Now gateway of Himalayas, Spiti Valleys of Himachal Pradesh. This range has cold winters and mild summers because the temperature is low. The mountain slopes are covered with dense forests of pine, oak, deodar and fir, which provides forest products like wood and fuel, right? Wood, fodder and fuel, we get it from this range, right? Next is the lower Himalayas, the third parallel range, right? The outer Himalayas, of the southernmost range of Himalayas are known as Shivalik. Another name of the lower Himalayas are Shivalik range. The average height is less than 1,200 meters. Is the southernmost and the lowest range of Himalaya. This is the lowest range, right? Shivalik is known for the presence of special scenic valleys or dunes The hills in this region are covered with dense forests. These mountain ranges are not covered with snow. It is covered with dense forests and inhabited by rich wildlife. Its slopes are used for cattle rearing and growing crops like what the crops of these land are rice, potato and maize. Very good. So this is Doon Valley in Uttarakhand. It comes under Shivalik range. In North India, this range marks the end of the mountains. It is the end of the mountainous geographical feature, and from there the northern plains starts. And the beginning of plains. Got it, kids? We have learned about the three mountain ranges, right? In the between them lies the Terai, which is the dense marshy land. Between the northern plains and northern mountains, there is the Terai region, which is dense marshy land. Crops like rice, wheat and sugarcane are mainly cultivated in Terai region, right? Now, importance of Himalaya. Himalaya forms the natural boundary between the India and its neighbor like China. It is Himalayan range is the natural border between India and China, or you can say this separates Himalayan range separates India from the China, right? They protect our country from the cold wind of the north. It is barrier between the cold winds. They prevent the rain-bearing winds from leaving the country. The air which is blowing from this direction, so Himalayas stop it from moving the other side of the country, right? And it also stop the cold wind that is coming from the other part of the country. So this is the natural border and it protects us from the cold wind and also protects or prevents the rain-bearing winds from leaving the country. The result in heavy rainfall in India. The melting snow of the Himalayan give rise to the major rivers like Ganga and Yamuna. Ganga originates from Gangotri glaciers. Yamuna originates from Yamunotri glaciers, right? So it is when the snow melts, it forms the river, and Ganga and Yamuna are the main rivers that originates from the Himalayan region. These rivers are called perennial rivers. Now, what is perennial rivers, kids? The rivers that are filled with water throughout the day is called perennial rivers because they have water throughout the year. Now, many valuable products like timber, resins, medicines, etc. are obtained from the forest in the mountain range, right? The forests of Greater Himalayas are home of many animals like yaks, goats, snow leopards, musk deer and wild sheep, right? So these are very important. Life of the people in the Himalayas. People practice terrace farming, right? The land is cut into steps, and steps farming means the people are growing crops in the steps. The mountains are cut into the steps to save water. They grow fruit in orchards, fruits like plum, apricot, apples, cherries, pears grow in plenty in the Himalayan region. Many people are engaged in cattle rearing too. So this is their profession, cattle rearing, and farming is the main occupation. Some people cut down trees for timber. They are said to be engaged in lumbering. We have learned the lumbering. The people who feed on or their livelihood is cutting the wood and selling into the market is called lumbering, right? So many people earn their livelihood by making woolen clothes, shawls, carpets, etc. Pashmina shawl of Kashmir are famous all over the world. This is the very famous shawls in the entire world. Tourism industry in this region helps a large number of people to earn their livelihood, right? Tourism industry is again, many people come here to visit Jammu Kashmir. Kashmir is very pretty, kids. You should go there with your parents, right? So the northern plains is the next topic of the chapter. The chapter name is Northern Mountains and Northern Plains, right? We have learned a lot many things about the Northern Mountains. Now it's time to learn about the Northern Plains. Have you understood the Northern Mountains well? Very good. So let's start with the Northern Plains. The Northern Plains are located the south of the Himalayas, not in the south of our country. It is located in the south of Himalayas. They are also called the Gangetic Plain. It is called the plain because land surface is flat. It is not high land. It is low land, right? The northern plains extended from Punjab in the west to the Assam in the east. This is the slope, right? Earlier, the first we have northern mountain, then it is northern plains. This area, many states lies like the Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, right? So Assam in the east, here Assam in the east, and it covers the Punjab in the west. So it stretches from Punjab to Assam. Very good. Covering distance about 2,400 kilometers. You can say the difference between the Punjab to Assam, it is 2,400 kilometers. These are rich in alluvial soil. Yes, alluvial soil. The northern plains are rich in alluvial soil. Hence, this area is very fertile. Fertile means cultivation is possible. These plains are extremely fertile because of the two reasons. First reason is they are very well drained due to the perennial rivers. We have learned the perennial rivers, the rivers that are full with water throughout the year, right? So because of this, cultivation or irrigation is very easy. Originating in Himalayas, flowing through them. And which is the second reason? Second is the rivers bring along with pieces of rock, sand and silt. The finer silt, when deposited by the rivers, form the highly fertile alluvium. Yes, that is why when the rivers are flowing down from the Himalayas to the downwards to the northern plains, right? It brings fine soil, it brings the silt, it brings the rocks and sand, right? Rock, sand and silt, and together it is deposited. When these things are deposited and mixed with the soil, so it makes the soil very fertile, or we can say this soil is rich in alluvium. The fertile plains make agriculture profitable. Why? There are three large river basins that forms the northern plains. These are Ganga Basin, Satluj Basin and Brahmaputra Basin in the east. Yes, we have three major rivers that originates from Himalayan region: Ganga, Satluj and Brahmaputra. So basin means the main river along with its tributaries flows in this land masses, right? So Ganga basin is in the center. You can say this is the center. So Ganga basin is in the center. West it is Satluj basin, and in the east it is Brahmaputra basin, right? So let's discuss about these basins. These rivers covers large area and form a network through the plains, right? First we will learn about the Ganga basin. The Ganga originates from Gangotri glacier, that is the part of Himalayas. It flows through the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal, and finally it merges into Bay of Bengal. Yamuna is its main tributary. Tributary means it is tributary means the river that is separated from main river, and at the end or it merges with the main river, right? In the bigger river. It is a small river, it is separated and it merges with the big river or the main river. So Yamuna is its main tributary. River Ganga meets River Yamuna in Allahabad. It is in Uttar Pradesh. The meeting point is called Sangam, right? So people pilgrimage taking a holy bath in Ganga at Sangam. Rainfall is received during monsoon, and eastern parts of the plain receive more rain than the western parts, right? So monsoon season it receives more rain. Eastern part of the northern plains receive more rain as compared to the western part. The Ganga basin produces more food than any other part of the country. Healthy yields of rice, wheat, jute and sugarcane are produced here. Fishing, navigation, hydroelectricity generation and industries like cotton, textile and sugar mills are supported by this river. Hydroelectricity means the electricity generation with the water. So this is called hydroelectricity generation. So what are the main occupations or the livelihood of the people? Fishing, navigation, hydroelectricity generation, industries like cotton, textile and sugar mills are there, and this basin produces more food for the country. And more main crops or common crops that are grown here are rice, wheat, jute and sugarcane. So you have understood about the Ganga basin, right? So let's learn about the Brahmaputra basin. Ganga basin is the central basin of the northern plains. Now, Brahmaputra has its origin in Tibet, where it is known as Sangpo. Yes, it originates from Tibet, and the name is Sangpo. It enters in India through Arunachal Pradesh and flows through Assam before entering the Bangladesh. Brahmaputra basin starts or originates from where? It originates from Tibet, and the name of this river is Sangpo in Tibet, right? When it enters in India, it enters in the India through the eastern part, which is Arunachal Pradesh, and from there it moves to the Assam, and before entering to the Bangladesh, means after the Assam, it flows towards the Bangladesh. The Ganga and the Yamuna forms the largest delta in the world. Ganga and Yamuna. Delta is, you can say, the mouth of the river, kids, and after that it merges with the Bay of Bengal, right? So Ganga and Yamuna forms the largest delta in the world, and the name of this delta is Sundarban Delta, right? Before flowing into the Bay of Bengal, you can see it is the mouth of the river. So the name of Ganga and Yamuna Delta is Sundarban, and after that it drains into Bay of Bengal. This region receives heavy rainfall and fertile soil produced as a result of flooding is excellent for crops like rice and jute. Rice takes a lot of water. So these delta or this area receive very heavy rainfall and good for cultivation of rice and jute. Now, the third basin in the northern plains is the Satluj basin. Satluj basin originates in Tibet again and enters India through Shipkila Pass in Himachal Pradesh. Ganga originates from Himalaya, right? Whether the Satluj and Brahmaputra originates in Tibet, the Satluj basin is in the west, so it enters through Shipkila Pass in Himachal Pradesh. Beas is the main tributary of Satluj. Yamuna is the main tributary of Ganga. Similarly, Beas is the main tributary of Satluj basin. Right? In India, the Satluj basin mainly includes the states of Punjab and Haryana. The Bhakra Nagar Dam, which is very famous dam built on this river. Which river? On Satluj river. Built on this river is used to provide electricity and water for irrigation. So what the dams are the artificial man-made structures. These are the man-made structures. Dams are built to store water in large quantity so that electricity can be made. This water can be used for irrigations, right? The main crops produced include wheat, rice, cotton and sugarcane of this basin, this Satluj basin, right? Now, this is the picture of Bhakra Nagar Dam. The river is also harnessed at the Bhakra Nagar Dam to produce electricity. Amritsar, Jalandhar, Patiala and Ludhiana are some of the important towns situated along its coast, right? So, that's all for the Northern Plains. We have learned about the three river basins and their crops and other significance of this. Now it's time to revise. There are three parallel mountain ranges in Himalayas, and these are Greater Himalayas or Himadri, Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, and the Outer Himalaya or Shimalik range. The northern plains are very fertile and located to the south of Himalayas. The Ganga, the Brahmaputra and the Satluj are the most important rivers that drains these plains, right? Again, the question answer session. Explain the three parallel ranges of the Himalayas in brief. We have discussed. Explain the life of the people in Himalayas. We have learned. Why are Himalayas important for us? We have also learned the importance of Himalayas. What is delta? Describe the Ganga and the Brahmaputra delta. Describe the three large river basins that forms the northern plains. We have already discussed these questions in detail while explanation. Please refer to the explanation and write down the answers of your own. So that's it for the northern plains and the northern mountains. Hope you have enjoyed the session. Stay excited for clamp of another video. Till then, take care. See you in the next class of SST.